go. St. Joseph's advanced past Loyola. They'll get the winner of this one following this game, Montana and NC State. We welcome you inside. Darren Goldwater and Kevin Lehman, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Look, Kevin, 17th year of this tournament. Per the usual, it's another great field.
8 conferences represented. We've got ACC from the East Coast all the way to the left coast, all points in between.
With Oral Roberts coming out of the Summit, they need to get a good performance from their bigs inside if they want to compete with Saiz and Ole Miss.
Well, we've got 2 bigs. You're going to see them feed the beast today. Albert Owens coming off a huge performance against Rogers State with 21 points, and he's the anchor to their defense. He's a leading shot blocker in the Summit League. But on the other side, then you have Sebastian Saiz coming off a monster game, 22 points, 19 rebounds. He is SEC's active career leading rebounder.
For more on the Rebels, let's introduce you to the third member of our crew, Monica Jonigan.
Guys, you want to pay attention to some new Rebels in the backcourt. We're talking about DeAndre Burnett and Cullen Neal. They both combined for 44 points in that slim 3-point lead that the Rebels got over UT Martin. That debut opener, DeAndre Burnett dropped 23 points. That is the best Ole Miss opening debut performance since 1971. Pay attention to these guys.
Burnett, Neal, Saiz, and the Rebels look to move to 3-0 on the young season as we welcome you into Paradise. The road to the dance starts in Paradise.
Copy that. Checking drone status now.
Around the world, around the clock, in defense of all we hold dear back home. Learn more at Navy.com.
Hey, come quicker! My new beer, Stella Artois, is finished.
The people will love it.
Oh, the party's starting! Originally brewed for the holidays, enjoyed ever since. Stella Artois, post one to remember.
At Jared, we turn feelings into jewelry. Jewelry that tells her she's the best thing that's ever happened to you, in a way that goes beyond words. It could be a piece jewelry designers created just for Jared, or a piece we custom made just for you. Because we're more than a store that sells beautiful jewelry. We are jewelers. The one unique gift that tells her exactly how you feel. That's why he went to Jared.
2 conies or 2 burgers and 2 tots and 2 drinks. It's like I'm seeing double.
Speaking of double, look.
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
2 can eat for $9.99, so try our classic crispy chicken sandwich. This is how you Sonic.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the U.S. Virgin Islands is not just a vacation. It's Virgin Islands nice. Learn more and visit usvi.com. By NBA 2K17. Available now. Rated everyone. And by Basketball Travelers. For 30 years, the global leader in unique foreign tours and events.
Here we go from the Paradise Jam. A look at our starters here for Oral Roberts and Ole Miss. For the Rebels, this is game number 3. And for Andy Kennedy, he's got the same starting 5 as he's had for the first 2. For Oral Roberts, look at that top line. Big guy there getting back here, Chris Martin.
Good news for Scott Sutton. Chris Martin hasn't played this year. Injured his knee in the scrimmage against Wichita State, but he gives them some size, and he is maybe their best scorer. 37 triples last season.
He heard it, trying to rehab it, getting ready for the Baylor game. Second time Oral Roberts already here in 3 games has played a Power 5 conference team, and they hung with Baylor for a little bit. Martin looked pretty good getting through practice yesterday. You see that brace there on his left knee. And we're underway here with Cullen Neal, who transferred in from New Mexico. Ole Miss Kevin wants to get up and down the floor. They'll pay with about as fast a pace as any team you'll see in the country. Burnett gets us started with a 3.
And Burnett has been on fire for the Rebels. And he gets to the free throw line. With both these teams starting in man-to-man defense.
Going to see a little bit different philosophy here for Oral Roberts. They don't want to get into that track meet. They don't want this game up in the 80s. They prefer it down in the 70s, so they come to their 5th-year senior here, Aaron Anderson, who kicks it back out to Nezekwezi, and the freshman, the highly touted freshman, knocks us up.
Nezekwezi has the range to shoot from outside, and he's also a great rebounder. Had 17 boards in their last win against Rogers State.
He was pretty highly recruited. Oral Roberts feels fortunate that they've even got him. Offensive rebound here for Manavicius, rolls one off, and Saiz will be whistled for the first foul.
Saiz going over the back. He's got that long wingspan, but we talk about new points of emphasis by officiating. You can't dislodge rebounders that have position. And you're going to see some early calls from these officials to get this game and set the tone of the new directives for this year's basketball.
Sutton, the all-time winningest coach at Oral Roberts. A little bit of a down year last year, below 500 for the first time since his 2nd year on this bench.
Well, Darren, they start out great, then they kind of hit a cold spell in the Summit League. The Summit League, an underrated league.
Nice little start for Nezekwezi, who comes from Trophy Club, Texas. Originally signed with Weber State. That didn't work out. He's got all 5 points. Here's Cullen Neal, way off the mark.
Martin has the ability to handle the basketball and start the break also.
Owens got a double team coming on him late. Didn't get the roll. Here comes Cullen Neal.
Well, Owens prefers to go over that left shoulder. That time they made him turn back over the other direction.
Neal found himself in a double team, turns it over. It's been a problem for Ole Miss. 20 a game in their first 2, and it leads to a run out and a bucket there for Bradley.
Well, we thought Ole Miss was going to be the team running. We're seeing Oral Roberts get up and down the court.
Andy Kennedy was really getting on the Rebels yesterday. They were a little bit sloppy with the ball in practice. It's impressive they're putting up about 90 a game, turning it over 20 times.
That is impressive, but he wants this team to find their identity during this tournament. 3 games in 4 days, looking for some synergy and identity development.
Very common theme when you talk to both coaches in this game and the coaches, all 8 of them here in this tournament. Early season tournament, not just a time to get away to a place a lot of these guys won't have a chance to get to. A chance to figure out more about the team.
And you're going to play 3 games in 4 days, so you'll find out a lot.
Strong move for Owens. He started 0 for 2, but Nezekwezi had the offensive rebound, and Saiz cleans it up.
Well, Saiz has given problems to Owens inside, because we talked about Saiz with that 7'4" wingspan.
There you go. Uses it there to avoid Owens.
And in our opening, we said they're going to feed the beast today, and both teams are doing that. They're trying to get the ball into Owens inside, and you see Saiz clean up the glass, the best rebounder in the SEC.
I think he's got some all-SEC potential. Trying to keep Albert Owens out of the lane. The double came, the skip pass to Anderson. This is a great start here for Oral Roberts.
Well, nice kick out by Owens. He felt the defense. Saw the weak side collapse, kicked it out for the assist.
Kevin, you're looking like a genius here. They're both rotating the offense through the paint. Back-to-back buckets here for Saiz.
Well, we were at practice yesterday, and the coaches told us what they were going to do. It's going to go inside out with both of these teams.
Saiz actually won the game for Ole Miss against UMass in their last one. Came from 9 down in the final minutes. He tipped one in off a miss from Burnett. Bradley tries to split the double team up top. And we've got a timeout on the floor. The freshman Nezekwezi has Scott Sutton and Golden Eagles out to the early lead.
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, go to visitusvi.com.
You won't find them on a field or a court.
You won't see them in the big game.
Here's a shout out
to all champions fighting for what matters most. Pushing, fighting,
hoping,
and never giving up.
Are you a champion?
Are you a champion? I don't care. We build champions.
Half-price cheeseburgers for Unturkey Day?
Why do you have that?
It's the carving of the cheeseburger. It's a family tradition.
You got a weird family.
Sorry, what'd you say about my family?
They're fine.
Half-price cheeseburgers all day Tuesday, November 22nd. This is how you Sonic.
Alongside Kevin Lehman, Darren Goldwater here for the Paradise Jam. We've already been talking about feeding him on the inside. How about more of your keys?
Well, inside out is what Oral Roberts wants to do, and they've got some touches inside. They've got assists, 3 assists on 4 baskets. In the transition D, they've not allowed Ole Miss to get this thing going. Ole Miss wants tempo. They want this thing speeded up right now. This game's at the speed that Oral Roberts likes. And ball security, only 1 turnover by Ole Miss. They're going to like that, but they want to play faster.
4 of Ole Miss 7 shots have come from beyond the arc, but just before that timeout, they started to go inside a little bit more. Saiz will be whistled for his 2nd foul here. This isn't a very deep team for Andy Kennedy. 2 quick ones here on Saiz.
And Andy Kennedy's going to roll the dice and leave his senior in. Playing with 2 fouls with 15 minutes left in this half. Sometimes you got to trust the guy with experience that he's not going to pick up that 3rd.
Here's Chris Martin's first shot of the day. That one's a little bit short.
So you can see Oral Roberts are getting back, getting their defense set, not allowing anything easy in transition.
Here's Dante Fitzpatrick Dorsey, then the ball reversal, and Burnett buries the 3. That'll tie us up.
Well, the excellent second pass. Burnett cashes it in.
What's interesting about the Rebels team, while Andy Kennedy wants them to find an identity here, they've already showed a little bit of it. They've gone through spurts and shown the ability already in 2 games to come back from some adversity.
Yeah, they played 2 close games, and they've been scoring points in bunches, even though they're averaging over 20 turnovers.
Terrence Davis just in off the bench, has misfired on a couple of quick shots.
Well, that time you see Saiz backed off the rebound because he's got those 2 fouls going to the offensive glass. Well, he's got to really back off. He's a great offensive rebounder, but the rest of the half, he can't go that glass over someone's back.
Chris Martin jump stop with the extra jump and turns it over. Since that 2nd foul, picked up by Saiz, who now goes to the bench, Scott Sutton and group, they haven't gone inside to go after him.
Excellent points. You think they want to play inside out. And Oral Roberts kind of playing a little bit of a pack line defense. That's why you're seeing so many 3 balls shot by Ole Miss. Oral Roberts wants to stop that dribble drive.
Lynch has checked into the game for Saiz. Big freshman battling for position against the other freshman who's checked in for Oral Roberts. Weak side rebound comes down to the Golden Eagles. Here's the senior Aaron Young. Not really a point guard though, Kevin. He looked like it there.
The Rebels is trying to get things speeded up. They just can't get anything out in transition. Oral Roberts sitting 4 back.
There's Burnett circling one through. He's been the one consistent guy here. He's got 8 of the 12.
Oh, nice little curl play. That was actually Rasheed Brooks that came off that down screen. Tough to defend now because you cannot bump those cutters on a pin down.
Here's Chris Miller with the step back over Schillich, who cleans it up.
Ole Miss has been able to push those post players, Miller and Owens, off their sweet spots. They're making those shots about 10 to 12 feet rather than 6 to 8.
But even on these misses, Oral Roberts still getting back. Nice skip pass and finds. First free throws coming up from our Canvas Hyman.
Now watch this pin down now. Brooks gets it on the left side, gets his defender chasing. Nice square up finish, keeps his eye on the prize. Brooks will be a big factor because he has a huge height advantage for Ole Miss.
Well, Tim Comer says that's on the floor, so the possession here for the Rebels. Now it's Burnett. And after the good start for Oral Roberts, haven't hit a bucket here and pushing up on 4 minutes. Schillich comes out hedging and will commit his first foul.
As a coach, you just hate to see that foul by your post player 30 feet from the basket. Ball screen hedge, and that's another thing they're going to call much closer this year because freedom of movement on the perimeter and in the post.
For a team that isn't especially deep, Saiz is on the bench with a couple of fouls. The other 2 fouls committed by the Rebels by their bigs. Here's Bradley with 2 flashing at him. The offensive board for Miller is too strong on the putback.
Miller like to have that one back.
Penetration opened up the kick.
Ole Miss kind of quick shooting in transition, trying to speed the game up. Oral Roberts, they're slowing it down here at the offense, and look how many times they're getting the ball reversed from the left side to the right side.
And Aaron Young caught himself a little deep. Finally, the Rebels have a chance with some numbers here. Bradley cuts him off, however, forces the turnover. After the job on the defensive end, Bradley gets the easy 2 to tie us back up.
Now here's a stat that jumped out at me. Ole Miss is averaging 29 makes free throws per game. They have not been to the free throw line yet. Oral Roberts, excellent job of keeping their hands off and not fouling.
Another turnover here for the Rebels. Golden Eagles got a hot start from Nezukweze. Jalen Bradley starting to make his presence known as well. Started on one end, finishes it on the other.
Making and breaking some of the biggest stories in sports history. We Need to Talk, Tuesday at 8 on CBS Sports Network.
I'm Andrew Luck. Check out all the great games on NFL Sunday Ticket this weekend.
Ezekiel Elliott leads the Cowboys against Joe Flacco and the Ravens. DeMarco Murray and the Titans face Andrew Luck and the Colts. And Carson Wentz and the Eagles take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Patriots at 49ers, Bills at Bengals, Cardinals at Vikings. You get every game.
Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get NFL Sunday Ticket to watch games anywhere, live every Sunday.
All right, come on, it's game time. Let's do this. Here we go. Here we go.
Here they come.
This is going to be good.
Watch out for the crossover. Look at that handle.
That's what I'm talking about.
He wants to the right. Force him left. Take him down. Post him up.
Watch your back. Watch your back.
Setting him up. He's going to spin. Woo. Time out. Time out.
Nobody panic.
What do you got, baby? Gotta go. Gotta go. I can't watch this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4.
Take the action with you. NBA League Pass. 5 games wherever you are.
If your loved one received an IVC filter to prevent blood clots and later experienced complications, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters can move or fracture, causing serious injuries such as heart damage, lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 800-859-3589. That's 800-859-3589.
Well, where else would you rather be? St. Thomas cruise ships rolling in and out. Biggest cruise ship in the world was actually docked here just a couple of days ago. Tonight at 8 Eastern, join us from the Gridiron in the Queen City. Tommy Tuberville's Cincinnati Bearcats host Memphis Tigers, presented by Geico, only at on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Kevin, what's jumping out to you thus far here, just about 8 minutes in?
Oral Roberts controlling the tempo of this game. They're getting their defense set. They're patient on offense. Ole Miss trying to push the tempo. They can't get it going the speed they want. They want to track me. Oral Roberts, they want this baby to look like a tractor pull.
A lot of that hot start was Nezakweze. 5 early points, had him out to the early lead. Freshman's not on the floor right now, but their 2 bigs are in the game together for the first time. They'll double Owens, who finds Young wide open on the wing.
Well, that has been 2 great plays by Owens out of the post. The 3 C's of post play. He's going to catch it, chin it, and check the defense. He's flirted out the weak side for easy baskets.
Here's Cullen Neal for the answer.
Been waiting for that young man, Cullen Neal, the transfer from New Mexico, to get going. Excellent three-point shooter.
Best career game in a couple of years at New Mexico. It's actually last year against Oral Roberts.
Played for his dad, Noodles.
Good friend of Andy Kennedy's.
And I watched Cullen Neal grow up in the Iowa Fieldhouse along with Bryce Alford as they were ball boys for the Hawkeyes when Cullen's father was an assistant with the Steve Alford. They're out there shooting after every game.
Here's Hyman elevating on the inside. Shalinch has the offensive rebound. And we got a foul down there.
Well, this is a great play by Owens as he kicks it out to Young. Step in 3 ball, high percentage. Now I've been waiting for this young man to get loose. Cullen Neal. That's a horse shot, Darren. Nothing but nylon.
We'll have you go out there to answer him. I don't think we want me competing in that game of horse.
I don't want to play number 2, Cullen Neal and horse either.
That's his first bucket of the day, though. Comes off the screen, drops one right back down. Another turnover.
Well, Rebels just struggling to get flow offensively in the half court.
Well, Nezakweze has helped the Golden Eagles do just that. Right back in off the bench and 3 more points for him.
Silent assassin, 6'8", 230, but he's got 3-point range.
How about Brooks driving the baseline?
Oh, I like Brooks. He's long, got some experience.
Both teams seem to be settling down a little bit on their offensive ends. Nice move there from Albert Owens. They want him to play mean, Kevin.
Yeah, he's kind of a passive kid. Coach Sutton says he's got a lot of fire in him once in a while. Get him going, really challenge him. Owens off to an excellent start here for the Golden Eagles.
There's Burnett able to settle his feet. Tie the game at 20.
Well, you have to tag Burnett. You have to find him to transfer from Miami.
In transition, Burnett's bounce pass across was kicked out of there by Oral Roberts, so will stay on this end of the floor. How about the job Andy Kennedy has done with Ole Miss? Somewhat under the radar.
The best kept secret in the SEC, what he has done at Ole Miss has been tremendous.
There's Saiz back in with 2 fouls with the instant impact.
OB under. Nice plays. Sebastian gets an easy 2.
Brooks went for the steal, so Martin drives and dishes. And we've got the big man Albert Owens heading to the line.
And everyone's concerned about the new directive and rules and freedom of movement. These are the first free throws of the game, Darren. I think it's been very cleanly played.
Foul called on Firminavicius, so now 2 of the bigs with 2 fouls for Ole Miss. After their first game against Baylor, Oral Roberts took on a Division II team in Rogers State. Got a couple of big individual performances. One from Owens, tied his career best with 21 points. They escaped the upset.
How about Nezakweze in that game? 17 rebounds.
Yeah, he's living up to just about everything people have said about Nezakweze. That's him getting his foot on it. We'll stay on this end of the floor. Texas was after him, Vanderbilt.
You've seen Oral Roberts in the 1-3-1 zone. They're going to change up defenses to try to keep Ole Miss out of any type of rhythm.
Tip pass finds Neal on that wing. Same spot he hit from a couple of possessions ago. Not bad. Oral Roberts hanging in with their 3-ball. Here's Nezakweze now. Brooks getting anxious, went for it. Out of bounds over to Ole Miss. So it's the Rebels who came in as the 3-point shooting team, but it's the Golden Eagles who are sitting here burying 4 of them. They're still tied with less than 8 to go in the half.
Welcome to Belongo Bay Beach Resort, St. Thomas, the Caribbean's most entertaining beach resort. Experience the Caribbean's most entertaining beach resort, Belongo Bay Beach Resort, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. No passport required.
Strike package Bravo. Launch alert.
Around the world, around the clock, in defense of all we hold dear back home. Learn more at Navy.com.
Golden Eagles getting some help from the deep ball here, Kevin, early on. They only had 9 threes in their first 2 games total.
Well, they're red hot today. 4 of 5. It's out of great ball movement. Been assists in all their threes. Nezakweze knocks one down. Then there's one out to Anderson. And how about this pass out of the double team? Aaron Young splashed one in, and Nezakweze with his second triple. The Golden Eagles lighten it up from the perimeter.
You talked about his 17 rebounds in that second game. He also had 15 points when they took on Baylor. Instant impact here for the freshman out of Texas.
And we talked about playing inside out, Darren. We didn't mean they had to score inside, but they're making the defense collapse, kicking it out, open 3 balls. Oral Roberts, 4 of 5 from the arc. They're on fire.
As well as they're shooting it from outside. They're just tied here.
Yeah, that's a surprising thing. You would think Oral Roberts would have a lead in this game.
Another turnover here for the Rebels. That'll be their 5th.
Well, you're going to see more travels in the post because now the center and trail official are responsible for watching that post man's pivot feet that time. Saez gets called for the turnover. And now a little 1-3-1 trap out of the Rebs.
7:25 to go here, opening half. We're tied up at 22. Nezakweze has paced Oral Roberts with 8. Burnett has paced Ole Miss so far. Nice entry pass there from Martin with the left. Owens gives Oral Roberts the lead.
Well, your zone defense is only as good as the other team's zone offense. That time, that was excellent ball movement by Oral Roberts.
Now Burnett gets around Owens. That one halfway down, he'll head to the line.
They came out with a little zone at that timeout, but look at the ball. They start on the right side, bring it back. Early footwork by the big man, Albert Owens. He's parked on that weak side, has position, a little drop step. He has soft hands. Well, he's played well today.
He sure has. He has a benefit right now on the offensive end. The 2 bigs in the game for the Rebels, for Manaviches and Saez, both in the game with 2 fouls.
And remember what Andy Kennedy told us yesterday. He said, I'm concerned about that big man inside. Albert Owens, 6'9", 260, soft mitts, and left-handers always have an advantage.
Tied up at 24, 6:50 to go. into the corner and an extra step taken. Aaron Young turns it over.
And Ole Miss going to stay in that zone that time. That's another thing Andy Kennedy said. We're going to change up defenses, give different looks.
See the brothers there. Scott, the head coach. Sean sitting next to him. Already the 6th year that Sean's been on this staff with his brother.
Well, the Sutton family tree is right here in paradise.
Winningest family tree out there with their dad Eddie and the two of them. More wins than any other father-son combination.
Sean reminded me that his days at Creighton, Eddie Sutton started that career at Creighton, and we have Creighton in the later game tonight against the Cougars out of Washington State.
How about Creighton knocking off Wisconsin a couple of days ago? They flew here. They were here less than 24 hours later. It's an impressive group that Greg McDermott has for the Blue Jays, the top 25 bunch. Bradley with a little bit of a hesitation move, and the floater. It's a 4-point lead for the Golden Eagles.
Well, I like Bradley. He is a tough kid. He takes it right down Main Street, the little teardrop. And we talked about the Summit League, underrated league. They were 12th in the RPI last year, had some huge wins. Western Illinois won at Wisconsin.
It's a good idea to get it down there to Furman Averages. Just a little bit too high there for Brooks. Ole Miss doesn't have a bucket in more than 3 minutes here. Double team came, but only lightly on Owens with the reverse. He's strong. Saiz has it knocked free. Fresh shot clock here for Oral Roberts. Owens, who touched it last? He did. Scott Sutton was quick to point that out about the Summit. The RPI was actually as high as number 8 at one point.
Yeah, huge wins. They bounced up 9 spots in the RPI, the Summit League. They're picked 6th this year. That league has really got strong, and the teams at the bottom have raised themselves. They've got new facilities throughout the Summit League. Let's keep an eye on the Summit.
Oh, it was a good long stride for Rasheed Brooks. A badly needed bucket, their first in about 4 minutes.
Breakdown by Oral Roberts defensively. All the way to the rim, and now Andy Kennedy trying to speed this up. 3/4 court pressure, using that length to get in the passing lanes.
Extend that trap out here on Bradley. There it comes out again, almost all the way to half court. Deep 3 on the way from Jontre Harris, and the lefties on the board.
Well, that play was made by Bradley. He splits the seam in the zone and gets it in there to the nail. Kicks it out. Another step in 3 by Oral Roberts. They are on fire from the 3-point line. 5 of 7.
That whole thing was started there by Bradley, not panicking with the changing defense.
Well, Jalen Bradley's a tough kid. Harris, the benefit of that pass.
Bradley, one of the seniors on this team, came from Norfolk, Nebraska. Nice find. Saiz is fouled. There's Akweze helping out the freshman Miller down there.
Well, they're out of bounds plays. They're the special teams of basketball. The Rebs have been very good on this. They worked on it yesterday, a little quick screen and dive to the rim. Saiz now go to the line.
Career 65% free throw shooter.
Now you can see his goggles. He's got him up to shoot free throws, but last year he had a detached retina against Memphis. Tried to play through it. Had to have surgery. Missed some games. He puts the goggles up when he shoots the free throws and pulls them back down here as he runs to the defensive end.
That injury was a huge part of the storyline for the Rebels last year. They were probably on their way to an NCAA tournament bid. And then when he missed 7 games, the team kind of unraveled there a little bit. Saiz and company down 4 late in the first half.
It seems like every financial company talks about investing your way to wealth. But what about protecting what you're building right now? At Northwestern Mutual, we know the importance of doing both. We combine personalized investment solutions that help grow your wealth with world-class insurance that protects what matters most to you. This whole picture approach is just one of the reasons 96% of our clients stay with us year after year. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
2 Conies or 2 burgers and 2 tots and 2 drinks. It's like I'm seeing double.
Speaking of double, look.
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
2 can eat for $9.99, so try our classic crispy chicken sandwich. This is how you Sonic.
Competitive game so far, 7 ties, 5 lead changes already here in 16 minutes. Tonight at 6 Eastern, Paradise Jam continues right here on CBS Sports Network. Mark Gottfried's young and talented Wolfpack squad hungry to set the tone early. NC State takes on Montana only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. That'll be a fun one to watch. Dennis Smith Jr., one of the most highly touted freshmen in the country, the best recruit ever for Gottfried. They'll get Montana after that. The only ranked team currently in the field, the Blue Jays, get Washington State.
And you mentioned the Blue Jays with a huge win Monday night, or was it Tuesday night, over Wisconsin. CenturyLink Center in Omaha was rocking that night.
The days tend to run together when we're out here, doesn't it? It's hard to keep track.
Well, you're in paradise, Darren, and so every day kind of looks the same weather-wise.
You wake up, you look outside, you see the blue water and the trees, the cruise ships.
Best thing more is open that curtain.
Wow, the elevation for Terrence Davis.
Well, and the ball goes to the high post to Hyman. Weak side back cut out of vision of the defense. Davis with a flush.
Most athletic guy they've got on this team.
Well, Davis shooting 61%. Gives us some real pop off the bench.
Here's Harris now. How about the Golden Eagles? They've hit 7 of their last 9, and they've got their largest lead of the day.
Well, their patience at the offensive end has been outstanding. Ball movement inside out. Three-point shooters waiting to step in and knock it down. You know, and they saw zone almost the entire game against Baylor, so they're ready for the zone that the Rebs are putting on them.
Double team quickly collapses on Saiz. Here's the extra pass and a nice one out to Burnett, who can't make it count.
Well, that's good movement, ball movement by Ole Miss, but let's reverse it and drive it to the rim because they get 29 free throws a game coming in this. They have not gotten to the line other than 4 times. So if I'm Andy Kinney, I'm telling my guys, yeah, you got to drive it. Drive it in there.
Foul coming back the other way. Yeah, they've looked good when they've been able to penetrate and get close to the rim.
Yeah, they're settling a little bit too much for that jump shot. 4-12 from outside the arc for the Rebels. But part of that's because Oral Roberts has been able to set the defense they're doing right now. Little pack line, take away those driving lanes. Trade up a little as 1-3-1 zone that we're seeing. They're going to go back man to man in this possession.
Somewhat of a similar philosophy that we might see from Montana in our next game against NC State. Here's Burnett now from the corner. He'll splash that one down.
With volume score, Burnett. One of the high-impact transfers this year, him and Cullen Neal. Burnett coming in from Miami, and we talked about Cullen Neal coming in from New Mexico.
He might be the next volume scorer for Ole Miss, trying to replace Stephon Moody.
But Andy Kinney felt this team's going to have a lot more balance than the team they had last year.
Nice little head fake from Bradley. The tip won't fall from Nezukwezi. Any frustration for the Golden Eagles? As well as they've played, they're only up 2 here.
Well, they've shot it really well.
Nezukwezi knocks it free from Saiz.
Well, their defense has been excellent also.
Now on the other end, Nezukwezi the intended target. That's taken away there by Davis. And Dorsey Fitzpatrick finishes it.
And Scott Sutton just shaking his head because he does not want live ball turnovers that lead to runouts. It's like a 4-point swing. A little momentum here going to Ole Miss last minute of the half.
As hot as the Golden Eagles were, now 4 of the last 5 for the Rebels to tie this thing up. And there's Akwesi now backing his way down on the block. And Saiz with another rebound.
Will Saiz be able to play a lot of minutes here with 2 fouls. Ole Miss has dodged a bullet.
Tied with 33 seconds to go here in the half. We'll get you back to finish up the first half here from the Paradise Jam.
Okay, Google, show me Korean restaurants in Boulder.
I found a few places.
The new Pixel, phone by Google, exclusively at Verizon. The only next-gen network that lets you get the most out of it.
How is this possible?
Because Verizon LTE Advanced delivers 50% faster peak speeds in 450 cities coast to coast. Buy a Pixel and get up to $400 back. And get 20 gigs of data with no surprise overages. And 4 lines for only $40 each. Why settle when you can have it all on Verizon?
.33 seconds left here in the half. What gets drawn up for what probably the final possession for each here?
Well, you've got the shot clock. We got a 10-second separation from the game clock, so ORU's going to get the ball back with an opportunity here. But let's see what the Rebels do. Their hot man has been Burnett. Are they going to run a play for him? Or do we get to the big man inside? Saiz has been somewhat effective.
He just hit on both of them. Burnett's got 14, Saiz with 7.
Little change up of defense by Scott Sutton. 1-3-1.
And Burnett finds a little bit of room in that zone.
He just does that all on his own. Do it right to the gap. Popped it through.
It's Ole Miss with an 8-0 run, finishing the half on a flurry. High screen set for Bradley. Just 2 seconds left here. Knocked free. Heaves one up. And it'll be the Rebels that take the lead into the locker room. Everything going so well for Oral Roberts. And then in the last stretch, just like this team has been prone to do in their first couple of games, a quick spurt here. 8-0 over the last minute and a half for the Rebels.
Well, Andy Kinney switched that zone. And Oral Roberts scored the first couple of possessions, but then they struggled against it as it went on. So therefore, they were able to close.
Coach Kennedy is standing by with Monica.
Coach, an 8-0 run to end. You got the nice shot knocked down. Talk to me about what you see from your team in the first half. What you want to do better?
I thought we were very tentative out of the gate, which is unlike us, and we allowed Oral Roberts to attack us. I thought about the last 5 minutes. We got on attack mode.
Any adjustments you expect to see here in the second?
Well, Ole Miss got a little bit of tempo in their last half. They went tempo, and Oral Roberts, just like our key said, let's play inside-outside.
Golden Eagles hit 9 total threes in their first 2 games. A little bit different story here in the first 20 minutes.
Well, they've spread it around. They've had 4 players hit triples. That's Akwesi with 2 himself, along with DeAndre Harris off the bench, has knocked in a pair of triples. They are 6 of 9 from outside the arc, has kept them in this game. At the other end, for Ole Miss, it's been the DeAndre Burnett show. He has knocked in 5 from outside the arc. He's dialing up outside the St. Thomas area code. The transfer from Miami, impact transfer, 5 of 7. He's got 17 points. He's averaging 17.5 on the season.
This island's only 4 miles by 14. He's shooting up basically off this island. Here's the first half stats. The biggest thing that jumps to me, the points off turnovers for Oral Roberts, 12 of them.
Well, that's surprising because we thought it would be reversed. But Oral Roberts has gotten their defense set. They packed it in. They made it difficult for Ole Miss to score in the half court.
Earlier, Monica spoke with Scott Sutton. Apologize for the audio difficulties here. Let's put yourself inside that Oral Roberts huddle. They were great from beyond the arc. That's what kept him in the game. There's Akwesi, obviously.
Well, you've got to find DeAndre Burnett on the perimeter because he is almost half of the Rebels' points. So let's mark him with a defender, try to keep the ball out of Burnett's hands and make him hit some tough contested threes or drive it for tough twos.
We should make one correction. We were pretty certain that Saiz, who's guarding the ball here, had 2 early fouls. Officially, he only has 1, so that's a bit of a break for the Rebels.
Well, huge break, because now he's got 4 to play with it. We thought he picked up the second partway early in that second half.
Great eyes there for Terrence Davis, who was fouled pretty quickly after jumping in the lane.
Well, Terrence Davis gets the start in the second half. He makes an impact immediately. He's a big-time athlete. Football player in high school. This is the first year he's really focused on the game of basketball. Really like his upside.
He was getting some major FBS offers. We've already seen him rise up for a jam. Misfires on the 3. Nezukweze pushes it out. They've got a 3-on-3 here.
Oh, he's a top 150 recruit.
There's Chris Martin now. Didn't play in the first 2 games because of that knee. Ties it up early in the second.
Martin's been a big lift for Oral Roberts. Didn't even practice the first day we were here, so I was kind of surprised when Coach Sutton said, we're going to start him.
But Terrence Davis goes right back at him.
Well, Terrence Davis got the call at halftime. You want to get the start, young man. Make something happen. And he has for the Rebels.
Only Burnett and Saiz, the only 2 starters that began the second half for the Rebels.
Well, that means Andy Kennedy was not happy with the performance of those other players, and Cullen Neal on the bench here to start the second half.
Let's check in with Monica.
Hey, guys, I know you couldn't hear me, but Coach Sutton told his team at the half, he said he liked the pace of the game, but he has got to make sure that his team doesn't let Ole Miss dictate how they get up and down the floor. It's going to be crucial to their execution that they control the pace of this game and take smart shots coming in and up and down the floor, guys.
Pretty similar theme to what Scott was saying yesterday and then before the game today.
No question. His game plan has been executed fairly well, except for that run at the end of the half by Ole Miss.
Martin's got 1 out of 2. Nothing new for the Rebels. Game number 3 and another close game.
That's a good point. They've been able to play in close games and pull them out.
Here's Burnett again. 19 points now.
Oh, that is wicked. Hand in his face, just a quick pull up.
First shot he's taken that wasn't a 3. Nezukweze rises up over Hyman and will rattle it through.
Nezukweze off the bounce. Burnett can do it. Nezukweze says, I can do it also. Off the dribble, the defender in his grill.
Both teams started the game pretty cold. Here in the second half, there's a better rhythm offensively for both.
Well, and what Andy Kennedy's done now, he's got to put the ball in Burnett's hands. He's the point guard. He's bringing it up, coming off some double high screens.
Anderson up ahead, finds Martin, got the contact, and he'll head to the line.
Well, you like the impact Martin has done for the Golden Eagles. Gives him height on that wing, explosive. And look, he's got a little bit of limp going as he's trying to walk it off.
He heard it in the exhibition, one of those private, super secret exhibition games.
Yeah, we know it was against the Shockers of Wichita State, so it wasn't that secret, Darren.
No, and we know that they competed very well. But he heard it, tried to come back maybe a little bit too quickly, so he didn't play against Baylor. Probably could have played in game 2. And yeah, it's pretty noticeable he's favoring that left leg after that bump.
Yeah, Martin averaged 21 minutes a game last season for the Golden Eagles and knocked in 37 triples, so he is a big part of their offense. But you're right, Darren, he's still favoring that left knee. Big brace on there.
Anderson at least forced it out of the hands of Burnett. Hyman gets it out of his hands before he's whistled for the travel, and the long rebound comes down to Bradley.
Well, that's a matchup we can watch. Aaron Anderson is 6'3".
Got the take from Bradley.
Yeah, I like that kid. He's tough, man. But Aaron Anderson, he's drawn the assignment here on DeAndre Burnett. Can he slow him down?
Quick 6-0 spurt here for the Golden Eagles. Here's Hyman. He was given a little bit of room from Nezukweze, so he drives right into the freshman.
Oral Roberts, 70% from the arc. Can they keep up this pace here in the second half?
Got to believe that was one of the major talking points for the Rebels. They're going to double Owens. Hyman got his hands on it. Saiz takes it away. Burnett doesn't have the numbers, doesn't so much care. He's heading to the line.
Andy Kennedy talked to Jonigan at halftime about let's get some tempo, let's get a quicker pace. Burnett pushing the action. This is a team that makes 29 free throws per game coming in here. They have not been able to get to the line. With great hands, great defense. The double on Owens.
He was away from the play. That's the fifth-year senior Anderson.
Yeah, Aaron Anderson out of Edmond, Oklahoma, and we saw in the second half that Scott Sutton had him on Burnett, shadowing Burnett.
That's tough to see. Obvious agony there as he's having that left leg looked at. So it was in the air because he didn't put any weight on it when he came down.
Yeah, let's hope it's just a Charlie horse that may knock knees with Burnett on the drive. But now Scott Sutton has to make some adjustments because that was the guy at halftime that he tagged on Burnett.
Former parade All-American now, DeAndre Burnett, who began his career at Miami.
Well, he's been sensational today. 6 of 8 from the field. 5 of them are triples. He's got 20 points.
Second 20-point game in 3 games. Had one of the best Ole Miss debuts in about 40 years in their first game. He had 23.
Well, Darren, we talked about Andy Kennedy's style. He takes transfers. He's transfer you. He was a transfer himself. He started at NC State, transferred to UAB, so he understands the process of a new player coming in from another school.
And it's not just one. Neal's the transfer, Burnett's a transfer. Saiz is one of the guys that has been in the program for a while, and this one will stay on this end of the floor.
Well, and he had Stephon Moody last year, led the SEC in scoring. Before that, Marshall Henderson. Andy Kennedy, great success bringing in the transfers off the waiver wire.
The difference being those two guys came in from junior college. Neal and Burnett came straight from their last schools.
Yeah, they started other four-year institutions and went to JUCOs before landing at Ole Miss. That would be Moody and Marshall Henderson.
Oral Roberts' largest lead of the day was 5. It was late in the first half until Ole Miss hit on 8 straight to close the half. But now back-to-back possessions that Owens beats Saiz on the baseline.
Well, that was excellent offense. They could not get the double team on Owens, and he made that quick spin move.
Saiz, that's not what he does best. Here on the inside, Firminavicius earns himself a trip to the line. Owens got the game started well, then finished the first half relatively quietly. They need the mean man to come back. They need the attitude. 4 quick points for him.
Rated E for everyone.
Spectacular views of the Caribbean are just the beginning at Frenchman's Reef and Morningstar Marriott Beach Resort. Discover a place where turquoise waters meet clear blue skies, where fine dining and poolside bars delightfully coexist, where fun and relaxation are an art form. A Marriott dream vacation awaits you here on the island of St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It's all here at Frenchman's Reef and Morningstar Marriott Beach Resort.
What's it gonna be? An oven-baked DiGiorno or waiting for delivery?
Did you have that beard when we ordered?
A hot, fresh-baked crust or...
Did we order extra soggy?
Don't settle for delivery. Rise to the occasion. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Time has always had its own energy,
We move with light. We rise with light. We live with light. Echo Drive. Powered by light. Any light. Never needs a battery. Citizen.
I never let dry skin ruin my day.
What dry skin?
Exactly.
Gold Bond Men's Lotion. Everyday moisture hydrates dry skin. Intensive therapy keeps extra dry skin smooth. All with 7 intensive moisturizers and skin strengthening proteins. Man up.
What a start to the second half here for Oral Roberts, keyed by Albert Owens. They've got the 3-point lead. Coming up next, join us in the studio as our panel of experts breaks down all you need to know from around the nation, both on and off the hardwood, on Inside College Basketball right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Oral Roberts 5 of 5 from the field to start the second half. Ole Miss has made 1 of their last 6 from the field. A 14-8 run here to start the second half to give Oral Roberts back in control as they're up by a triple.
We talked a lot about the transfers. Transfer U, as you've dubbed it. Haven't talked much about Furman Avicius. Came over from junior college, where he was an All-American and a top 25 JUCO prospect.
And I'm going to age you on this one, Darren. He's out of Three Rivers Community College in Missouri. Latrell Sprewell. Three Rivers grad.
You're not aging me too much. I remember Sprewell.
You don't remember him at Three Rivers, though.
No, I don't remember him there. Oral Roberts breaks that pressure with ease. They still haven't missed this half.
Now Cullen Neal back in the game running the point.
Yeah, and he drew a crowd. Offensive board for Saiz, who finishes with the left.
I was going to say Saiz has been kind of quiet here in this game, but that's what he does. Gets on the offensive glass, that long wingspan, big hands. Excellent work on the window.
Rebels need somebody other than Burnett. Maybe it will be Saiz.
Well, we saw some spark out of Terrence Davis to start the second half.
Stay on this side of the floor. We'll check in with Monica for an update on Aaron Anderson.
Guys, I talked to the Oral Roberts athletic trainer, and we saw Aaron Anderson over on the sideline in a great deal of pain. That left knee has been wrapped with ice. He's not coming back into this game, but the trainer tells me so far it's just a sprain. As he can see, I saw him testing the knee for ACL and meniscus damage. Couldn't find any, but he's in a lot of pain. He will not be back in this game, but they're calling it just a knee sprain, guys.
Well, that's great news. Let's hope that's the way it stays. ORU finally missed a couple of shots, a couple of chances to put back, and it leads to the run out and another tie game.
And the same thing Chris Martin suffered was a knee sprain.
Rasheed Brooks into the passing lane. Davis back on the other end. And another trip to the line. They couldn't get there in the first half, but now they're living there here in the second.
Well, their defense is generating the offense. Or in that 1-3-1 three-quarter court trap, the long wingspan, deflections. Coaches like to track deflections on their team. Ole Miss did get a lot here in the first half, but look at this. What great movement, and what a save by Rasheed Brooks.
Davis, a top 150 national recruit. 70% free throw shooter on the year.
Scott Sutton rotating his bigs in as his other big body. Chris Miller going to give Albert Owens a breather. I thought he did a nice job of resting those guys, and then Ezekwesi still in the game, the big front liner.
Do you think we'd see the two bigs together with Miller and Owens out there a little bit more?
But Ezekwesi has been so effective from the three-point line and spreading it out. It's letting the postman Owens operate one-on-one inside and drawing the double.
Speaking of the double, Brooks dribbles right into one.
Again, that pressure defense by Ole Miss is creating some turnovers for Oral Roberts.
Here's Davis with Miller hedging out on him. Affects the shot, but it's down to Hyman. Leans in over Ezekwesi, then he'll be whistled for the foul. Climbing up over the freshman's back.
Hyman's been somewhat quiet. This is the guy who led the team in blocks. It gives him some spark off the bench. Trying to make something happen on the offensive glass, but called for the foul. Now let's see if Oral Roberts can break through this pressure.
First time we've seen the freshman McDaniel in the game, probably due to the injury to Anderson. Bradley finds himself a little bit of space. Hyman knocks it down to Neal.
And good point, Darren, because you got Aaron Anderson out. That's their point guard. So you got Andy Kane now going to put a little more pressure on as you have a less experienced point guard running the show, McDaniel, for Oral Roberts.
5'11", 170-pound freshman out of Kansas City. Oral Roberts has looked very good against this zone. A lot of good looks. Miller with the easiest with the putback.
Work that backside block, young man. Chris Miller looks like he eats weights for breakfast.
Oh yeah, so does Hyman.
I was waiting for Hyman to do something. Boy. Climbed the ladder. Threw it down.
Golden Eagles have had 8 of their 12 shots here in this half. Another deflection defensively, so they'll keep it on this end of the floor.
Well, the spacing is good against this half-court pressure by Oral Roberts, but the length of the Rebels is really causing some problems in the passing lanes.
We've had 14 ties and 11 lead changes, and no lead larger than 5. That was Oral Roberts late in the first half. Nezukwesi around Schillich, finishes at the rim. Got a little bit of everything, doesn't he?
He has been impressive. We've seen him knock down the 3 ball, seen him get on the glass. Nezukwesi will be an impact player in the Summit.
Cullen Neal now working against the freshman. Here's DeAndre Burnett, his first 3 of this half, but he continues to light it up.
You got Desmond McDaniel running the point now for Oral Roberts. He's only played 7 minutes in the 2 previous games.
Hard trap came. Instead of the turnover, we've got a foul. This one whistled on Rasheed Brooks. Back and forth we go. A fun one here in the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam.
What's it gonna be? An oven-baked DiGiorno or waiting for delivery?
Did you have that beard when we ordered?
A hot, fresh-baked crust or...
Did we order extra soggy?
Don't settle for delivery. Rise to the occasion. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
2 people can eat all this food for $9.99.
And it's all my favorites. Yeah. 2 conies or 2 burgers and 2 tots and 2 drinks.
Yeah.
It's like I'm seeing double.
Totally. Speaking of double, look. Maybe they want to hang out.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Just be cool,
I'll
man.
be cool.
No, you're
I
not
know
gonna
how to
be
be
cool.
cool.
You're gonna be...
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
2 can eat for $9.99, so everyone can try our classic crispy chicken sandwich all month long and get buy one, get one free wings Monday through Thursday. This is how you Sonic.
Year after year, the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam always puts on a great tournament. In fact, one coach, Travis DeCure at Montana, said as soon as I got my head coaching job, whenever I got it, I knew I would take my team down here. And it's because of the job this staff does, because of the beautiful island here in St. Thomas.
And Porter Mosier was scheduled to go with Loyola years ago, and they joined the Missouri Valley, so they couldn't go because Indiana State was in it. He's happy to get back here with his Loyola team, even though he dropped the early game to St. Joseph's.
Now, I campaigned a long time yesterday for us to call the game from that lifeguard chair. Clearly, I'm not in it, so I didn't win the argument.
Well, I wanted to do it from the tiki bar while you were in the lifeguard chair. I got voted out of that one also. How about Monica Jonigan? She gets the best seat in the house.
Yeah, our crew likes her better. They lost him. Nezukwesi, the most consistent offensive force, the freshman left alone.
Well, Scott Sutton saw the front on defense. They cleared out the backside over the top. Nezukwesi, easy basket. Great offense by Oral Roberts.
Well, Desmond McDaniel remains in the game for Oral Roberts, again with Aaron Anderson out with the knee injury, if you missed that earlier in the half. Brooks rolls one off. Let's check back in with Monica.
Well, you saw Ole Miss at the other end not doing what Coach Kennedy said in that huddle. He was very fired up. He said, we're coming out in man. You got to get a body on everybody when the shot goes up. But on the offensive side, you can see the number 12, Salinas, is listening to Coach. He's very concerned about the rebounds. That's why you saw him get that great position inside. That is what Coach Kennedy has asked from these guys. Put a body on somebody, get back in transition, and make sure we get some rebounds, guys.
Oral Roberts took advantage of that aggressive defense and cleared out the backside for the easy basket. Salinas with the caught in the front.
Furmanavicius going over the back. And that's his third. Specs back on, Saiz back in. Furmanavicius stays out there. He's in for Schillich.
Ole Miss back in the man-to-man. We saw some success with the 1-3-1 zone. McDaniel handling that pressure fairly well. That'll be a big story here watching the second half. The freshman, McDaniel, number 30. 7 minutes that he's played prior to this game.
Total in 2 games.
Aaron Anderson out with the knee injury, their point guard who'd been logging most of the minutes at that point spot.
That zone wasn't working. So back to the man, as Monica pointed out. Here's Owens now. That's a shot Ole Miss wants him to take, and he'll get the roll anyway.
Got the members bounce on that one. Albert Owens been really effective today.
Especially here in this second half. Davis drives right into Owens, followed up his own miss.
Owens with 12 points. 2 assists that led to triples. Here's Owens. They got him pushed off the sweet spot, which you want to do. He's out there 12 feet, 14 feet. Nothing to it, baby.
Another trip to the line here for Davis. Just 1 out of 4 there today. Pointed out that the Rebels have been in close games. Played UT Martin in the opener, only beat them by 3. UMass had a 9-point lead on them with less than 4 minutes to go. In game number 2, they come storming back and close the game with 11 straight points to get that win.
Well, this is a team that has spurtability. They can score a bunch. We saw that into the half. They get the 8-0 run, but Oral Roberts, Scott Sutton doing a nice job at halftime, settling his team down.
Owens, that double team came late from Hyman. The baseline stayed open.
Well, the double team came to the high side. Owens, a great field, drop step to the baseline, then used the rim to keep his shot from being blocked.
When asked yesterday, his biggest concern, Andy Kennedy said, the big man, Owens. Well, he's got 2 straight stretches here where he's got 4 consecutive points for his team. Owens has Oral Roberts out to their largest lead of the day, 62-56.
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, go to visitusvi.com.
Like to know how to easily join wood with rock-solid joints? You just need the right tool. With the Craig Joinery System, you create perfectly aligned pocket holes with hidden screws, just like the pros, with a drill and a Craig jig to build any wood project. Bookcases, storage systems, picture frames, and much more. Craig offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. Get your Craig jig at CraigTool.com or at these and other fine retailers.
Two conies or two burgers and two tots and two drinks. It's like I'm seeing double.
Speaking of double, look.
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
Two can eat for $9.99, so try our classic crispy chicken sandwich. This is how you Sonic.
Can't find a better setting right now than the U.S. Virgin Islands here on St. Thomas. The U.S. Virgin Island Paradise Jam. We talked about him in the open. Albert Owens has already matched a career high. He's got 21.
The big lefty, soft hands, and Andy Kennedy was concerned about the big man, and a great feel for the game as he finds the defense and turns away. The presence of mind to use that rim to keep the shot block from getting to him. Owens, it's been sensational.
I should say he's got 14, not the 21, but still 8 of those 14 coming here in this half. At this rate, he'll get to that 21 without a problem.
And he's beat the double team inside. He's excellent feel for the game. High basketball IQ by Albert Owens. And we talked about, Coach Sutton said, you got to put a fire into that man. He has played extremely well in this game, and one of the reasons why Oral Roberts has the lead.
Unforced turnover there, though. Burnett able to get all the way in the lane. Davis, the beneficiary of it, and Nezukweze has his 11th rebound.
Now, good look by Davis. He's got to step up and knock that down.
Bradley's been on the floor every minute of this game. So has Nezukweze. Here he is for the 3 over Neal.
The advantage with Bradley is he can run the point, combo guard. They can put the ball in his hands now that Aaron Anderson is out.
Tony Crisp said that ball was knocked out of bounds, so it stays with Ole Miss.
How about Desmond McDaniel? The freshman comes down there. He thinks he's going to have a little fun in the sun. Aaron Anderson goes out. He steps in. He's playing a big role here in the second half.
If you missed it earlier, Monica with the report right now. Oral Roberts thinks it's just a sprain, which would be great news for the Golden Eagles. There's what Davis can do.
Explosive.
So willing to hang out outside the perimeter, but that's where Davis is at his best.
And he's got to attack the rim. And that's the reason why Andy Kennedy gave him the start in the second half. Needs some more aggressiveness there. Kind of playing around the edge most of the first half. Davis give him a little punch.
Nezukweze skips one to Martin, who has it turned away. Then Owens hits the side of the glass. The shot clock violation. Terrence Davis, Kevin, best athlete on the team.
He takes the elevator to the top floor, punches one through, up by a deuce. Oral Roberts.
Living this life one night at a time. Now that I am free, soak up the sun, swim the sea. This is how life's meant to be.
Come visit my island, the United States Virgin Islands.
Discover how life is meant to be. Call your travel agent today.
They would never let me play because they would say I was too small.
I love to read that hate. It just continues to fuel me.
I had to learn how to walk again, learn how to run again, learn how to jump. This is the lowest point I'm gonna get to.
95% of the world is cool with mediocrity.
I love to hear the talk. That's what motivates me.
2 conies or 2 burgers and 2 tots and 2 drinks. It's like I'm seeing double.
Speaking of double, look.
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
2 can eat for $9.99, so try our classic crispy chicken sandwich. This is how you Sonic.
Neither team has had a lead larger than 6 here. This game has been competitive from the tip. Sunday night Paradise Jam continues right here on CBS Sports Network, live from the U.S. Virgin Islands, with the semifinals at 6 and 8:30 Eastern, ahead of Monday night's consolation and championship games, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Winner of this one gets the Hawks of St. Joseph's. And following this game, Montana and NC State, and then the 22nd ranked Blue Jays get Washington State in our nightcap.
St. Joseph's with some strong guard play today as they pulled out the victory over Loyola of Chicago, the battle of the Jesuit schools.
Newkirk and Kimball were outstanding, getting them past Loyola earlier today.
Oh, huge games.
There's Davis. That was a decent idea, but he threw it behind Fitzpatrick Dorsey.
On the 10th turnover for Ole Miss. Coach Kennedy, you think he's a little upset? Trying to hold it back as his team just threw it out of bounds.
They've turned it over on average 20 and a half times in the first 2 games. The 10's a high number, but it's at least going the right way.
And this is a team that have got to the free throw line constantly in their first 2 games, Ole Miss, but not much today.
Martin draws some rain and splashes through the 3.
And there's a guy you didn't prepare for in your scouting report, Martin, because he didn't play in the first 2 games for the Golden Eagles. Huge impact today by number 1.
All 9 of his points in the second half. Extra pass there, finds Terrence Davis for 3. That was halfway down, but Hyman saves the possession. Out to Burnett, another 3, 27 points.
So offensive rebounds now. You teach your players, look to the three-point line. Burnett with an easy step-in 3 ball. The great offensive rebound by Hyman.
And now a turnover on this end. Fitzpatrick Dorsey rips it away.
Well, Jalen Bradley running the point now for the Golden Eagles.
Burnett. Nope, it's an offensive foul. Dennis Alaco trailing the play.
Aaron Young stepping up, feet outside the restricted area, holds his ground. Talk about protecting your cylinder defensively. Look at nice play by Young. Hands to the sky. That's an easy call.
That is textbook. That's going to be on one of those officiating videos, exactly what you're looking for in a block charge situation. Tim Comer, Dennis Alaco, and Tony Crisp figuring something out. There is new emphasis on the rules this year.
Well, we always talk about reducing physicality on your cutters. In the post, you're going to see more traveling calls, and we just saw a restricted area play there. And the 4th one there, verticality. Each player, offensively, defensively, has a cylinder, and the offensive player has to be able to make a normal basketball play, which is passing, shooting, or dribbling. You can't invade that cylinder.
That quick conversation was simply about whether or not to allow the bucket. They got that one right as well. Player control foul, you can't count that bucket. Double team on Owens, back up top to Bradley.
Impressed by the feel Owens has for the defense. That time the double team closed, knew right where he's going to throw it. Bradley, though, not able to convert.
Here's Rashid Brooks now floating one up with the left hand. And a foul against Oral Roberts. Into the bonus go the Rebels. One day shy of his 21st birthday here, Marcanvis Hyman.
Hyman, a guy who started 10 of 32 games last season for the Rebels. Led the team in blocks, led the team in field goal percentage. Now he's coming off the bench.
It's a good-looking stroke. He was 0 for 5 from the line in the first 2 games. You wouldn't know it looking at that.
Well, they put him on the point of the press. Hyman, look at that long wingspan. Difficult to throw over.
You impressed with the way the Golden Eagles have handled the pressure?
Their spacing has been excellent, but the tip balls have caused problems. The length of the Rebels are giving Oral Roberts difficulty.
Chance for the Rebels to grab the lead back. Nearing 5 minutes to go here. A contested 3 for Burnett. He's got 30.
That one was outside the Virgin Islands zip code. Burnett continues to stay on fire.
Good three-point shooter in his own right. Aaron Young couldn't find the answer. 8 straight points now for Ole Miss. Talked about that spurt ability, Kevin. Here's Brooks around a screen. Rebound right down to Nezukwesi.
And we saw Jalen Bradley. Now he is taking over the point position. We mentioned that time and time again. We got some good minutes out of the freshman McDaniel, but now Aaron Young back in.
And this time the 3 falls for Martin. Didn't play in the first 2. We've talked about him a lot. Was quiet in the first half. A little bit of a different story here. 4th Golden Eagle into double figures. He's tied it back up.
In the Army, you hear the term Ranger, and you look at it as the highest standards. I was extremely proud to be part of the 1st Ranger Battalion. When I was deployed, I knew that USAA was taking care of my wife when she was back home. And now I know with my son that the USAA will continue to provide the insurance and protection we need.
They always say, you've served your country, so we're here to serve you.
My name is Alejandro Villanueva, and I'm a USAA member for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
Well, every coach knows it. Kevin, you're long experience there. You need some balance up and down your team. True, Burnett's got 30, but Oral Roberts is doing it up and down their lineup right now.
Well, Oral Roberts had the big score last year, and Obi Emiliano, who averaged 23 a game, was 8th in the nation in scoring. Now playing Italy, he is gone. And Scott Sutton said this team's going to be really balanced. It's going to have 5 guys in double figures.
Get you back here to University of Virgin Islands after this.
A game of honor. The Army-Navy game presented by USAA, December 10th on CBS.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-507-5269. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-507-5269.
If your loved one received an IVC filter to prevent blood clots and later experienced complications, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters can move or fracture, causing serious injuries such as heart damage, lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 800-859-3589. That's 800-859-3589.
Well, it was Nezukwesi in the first half. It's been Owens and Martin here in the second half. 4 different Rebels. Our Golden Eagles are into double figures, offsetting the 30 from Burnett.
And 34 of the 68 points by Oral Roberts have been scored by their three postmen. Inside out, Scott Sutton, and it's been effective.
DeAndre Burnett goes around Owens, but can't get it to fall. Big spot here and an opportunity for Desmond McDaniel, who stays on the floor with Aaron Anderson on the bench with that left knee wrapped.
And Burnett, with frustration on his face after that ball rolled in and out of the rim, is like, it's got to go down, baby.
Everything else has. Bradley rips it away in traffic. Now it is the freshman. Finds Martin deep in the shot clock with a deep two. Here comes a run out and Terrence Davis. Nice ball handling. It's Martin who gets a hand on the ball and the body.
Terrence Davis. Great speed, end to end. He knows where he was going. Martin comes and sticks his hand in the cookie jar.
Well, this is the one player who has been consistently getting to the line here in the second half.
Well, and Sebastian Ciez has been relatively quiet in this game. Most second team preseason SEC player and the leading rebounder coming back in the SEC. Oh, Roberts did an excellent job of bottling him up.
Owens has been the guy they've needed him to be. Bradley trying to find him down there. Another deflection, but it's the freshman McDaniel who saves the possession. Son of a former professional baseball player. His dad, Terrence, played pro ball with the Mets. Oh, what a find from Bradley. As Ekwesi is fouled on the floor.
Oral Roberts probing that zone, trying to find the open spots. Now, they have not got to the free throw line very many times. This will be the 7th and 8th trip.
And as Ekwesi, who originally came from the Netherlands, didn't come to the States until he was about 14 or 15. And it wasn't until later in his high school career that he became the prospect that he became, getting recruited by the likes of Texas.
Watch out, Summit League. This could be your freshman of the year, Emmanuel Ekwesi. Outstanding performance tonight.
Same can be said right there for McDaniel.
Double-double. 20 points, 12 rebounds. And Ekwesi.
Burnett turns down the screen, finds a wide open Davis.
Well, Davis has some great looks in that right wing, has not been able to knock him down consistently.
Davis took his eyes off it, saves it right back into Bradley. The awareness of the senior right there. He wanted to push it up ahead right away. Instead, he just ate it.
Oral Roberts wants to establish tempo. They're doing it with their offense.
The hook over Saiz.
Boy, the big lefty. Soft mitts, early footwork.
Burnett caught in the air, but Saiz is right there with him to bail him out and tie the game.
Well, Saiz with a nice little hook of his own. Owens has been getting his socks in the box, getting great position inside, especially against the zone defense of the Rebels.
Neal knows that was a mistake, committing to foul that far out. So the senior, who's about an 80% career free throw shooter, Young, to the line. The winner of this game will get the Hawks of St. Joe's.
This one has a little bit of smell of overtime.
We're going there already, huh?
Lots of lead changes and ties in this game.
We've been tied 17 times.
And it's really been a battle of these coaches. They've changed up. It's been a chess match between Andy Kennedy and Scott Sutton.
That just the 5th turnover of the second half, but it comes at a critical juncture with 2 minutes to play, down 2.
A frustration from Burnett Brooks trying to pick him up.
You touched on the coaches. I think both of them are two of the best coaches you don't hear enough about. The all-time winningest at both schools, Kennedy and Sutton.
Well, their adjustments have been excellent throughout this game, and then the other team has been able to answer. Halftime adjustments. This has been a well-played game for an early season November tournament.
Owens, another quick move on the baseline. He's turned away and fouled. Hyman came on the help, but Saiz is whistled for the foul.
Well, the ability for Owens to field the defender. We always talk about the 3 C's of post play. You're going to catch it, you're going to chin it, and you're going to check for the defense. He is so well versed in those 3 C's. Finds the defense, he's spun left, he's been able to spin right.
Now Owens knew that he would be largely counted on this year. Went through a strenuous offseason program, really trimmed down. They call him Big Al, although he's not as big as he used to be. They've been clutch at the line here in the second half.
Huge possession now for Ole Miss.
And Burnett makes it look easy.
Little high ball screen, turns the corner. Quick explosion to the rim. Burnett. Well, Roberts got to hedge that screen.
Ole Miss collapsed quickly. Owens had a brief look at it. Into the corner and another 3. Aaron Young finally gets one to drop.
Well, Darren, that was excellent ball movement. It went down the right side, came back to the second side.
Burnett with the quick shot, and Ezekweze cleans up another. Golden Eagles can start to smell this one now.
Well, that last possession was excellent ball movement. Pass up a good shot to get a better shot by the Golden Eagles. And remember, their point guard, Aaron Anderson, has been out most of this half. Bradley has stepped up big, number 10 with the ball in his hands.
Good minutes from the freshman McDaniel as well. There is Bradley, short on the leaner with 42 seconds to go. Burnett gets around Bradley to the rim. He's got a couple of free throws.
Well, Burnett, best thing you do right there, attack the basket. Now a chance to score points with the clock stopped, and now you can set your press if he knocks these 2 in.
.33 now for Burnett. New career high for the Miami transfer.
Get this down to 1 possession. Put your pressure on. Get the trap, get a deflection.
Next foul will put the Golden Eagles at the line for 2. Both teams have committed 9 team fouls. Timeout for Andy Kennedy here.
And he's going to talk with his team about, we're going to see full court pressure. We're going to trap the first pass, try to get your hands on it. At one point, and you have to make a decision. When do we foul? After the second pass, it gets out of the trap, because the clock is definitely the Rebels' enemy.
One of the reasons Andy Kennedy is in this position is the ability of Oral Roberts to hit free throws here. They're 9 out of 10 in this half. The miss came earlier in the half. Down the stretch here, they've been excellent at the line.
That and the three-point line for Oral Roberts. 10 of 15. Excellent ball movement.
Game plan coming in was to get Albert Owens going and to have him defensively shut down Saiz. Both have worked.
And the key to early season upsets are the 3-ball. You knock in those threes, you get up there over that 10 mark. That is a danger area for the opponents.
Don't let NC State let you hear you say that. There's a mistake for Oral Roberts off the pressure from Ole Miss.
Boy, the senior just with a bad decision.
Wasn't touched at all. So the Rebels get it on the baseline, a chance to tie with a 3.
And he had Bradley open, just misfired.
Burnett with a step back, ties the game.
And why not? Burnett from deep. Now you've got a 3-second differential, shot clock, game clock. Oral Roberts can run this down. Do not give the Rebels an opportunity to win this.
Couple of veterans out here by the stripe.
And now there's no 5-second closely guarded call. New rules from last year, so Bradley can keep the ball in his hands.
He cradles it. It's turned away by Hyman with 2 on the shot clock. And a timeout for Oral Roberts. Couple of options right now. If you're Scott Sutton, first let's get a look back on the other end of the floor.
OB play, simple double screen. Burnett pops out. Bradley gets there late. Look at him square those shoulders up. That's rise, release, rotation, and the ripple of the net. The transfer from Miami.
Well, someone had to fill the shoes of Moody. I guess it sure will be DeAndre Burnett.
37 points. He's knocked down 9 of 12 from beyond the arc. Phenomenal performance.
He's put him on those broad shoulders of his, single-handedly carrying the Rebels here.
Now, Scott Sutton is pulling out his best OB play. Is going to have a number of options. Look for something for Owens or Jalen Bradley coming off the screen.
Remember Anderson, their starting point guard and 5th-year senior, out for the game, injured his left knee early in this half.
And he would probably be the trigger man on this OB under. We saw it before on the turnover where Burnett got the 3. Aaron Young, not used to being the inbounder, threw it away.
Possession arrow does favor Ole Miss.
Now Bradley, the senior, going to trigger it.
Look for Owens or Nezakwesi. Instead, it's Martin, and he missed the banker. 1 second left, and partner, you nailed it. A couple of minutes ago, you sensed overtime, and Kevin Lehman was on the money. 79 apiece after Ole Miss scores 5 points in the blink of an eye after a turnover from Oral Roberts, unforced. Allowed the inbounds and the 3 from Burnett to tie us up. Overtime in the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Each team gains an extra timeout, and we'll jump it up to start. DeAndre Burnett's been the story. Not only the game-time 3, he's got 37 to pace all players here, but 4 in double figures for Oral Roberts, led by Nezakwesi's double-double, 20 and 13, and the 12 second-half points from Martin.
And Oral Roberts, a sizzling 10 of 16 from beyond the arc. That's 62%.
Yeah, well, Burnett hit 9 himself. This tournament, this is the 17th year, and that's the most threes someone's hit in a game.
And we talked about the injury to Aaron Anderson. Was it going to play out? It did on that unforced turnover that got the tied game on Burnett's 3-ball.
Good feel defensively by Martin. Comes away with the turnover. Rebels have been good with the ball in their hands since halftime, and they'll get it back on the Nezakwesi travel.
Oh, that's another one of the emphasis of rules this year. Shuffle that feet in the perimeter. Because you got that protected cylinder, you're going to see more travel calls in the post and on the perimeter. Timely turnover for Oral Roberts.
If this is the way the season is going to continue to go for Ole Miss, it is going to be a heart-stopping year for their fans. Brooks with a 3. That gets us going here in overtime.
Now, Brooks has been quiet. That was huge.
And there he is on the defensive end. Couldn't get to it, though. It's blocked by Saiz. And Brooks, I don't think the pass was heading to him. I think it was going to Neal, but it hit him, and he caught it.
Saiz with an excellent recovery and timing to make that block.
Double team. Burnett to the baseline, down the lane. Rashid Brooks to the line.
Well, you feel like Ole Miss got new life here in the overtime. Saiz comes up to that. He's got the wingspan, 7'4", timed it perfectly.
And here's Brooks. Maybe he can be that third option. Playing very well last year, then sort of hit a wall towards the end.
At 44 triples last season, was third on the team behind Moody in first place. They need him to stretch out the defense.
5 straight points to begin overtime. It's the largest lead of the game for Ole Miss.
Well, Brooks hits the three, then you get the block at the other end.
And Saiz went up challenging Owens. Yes, he's right. Clearly, that's his foul.
And Owens waited for the contact. He went up strong. Used his right shoulder to protect the ball. Almost finished.
The pass from Bradley. Foul trouble for Oral Roberts, and Ezekweze has 4. Free throws continue to really buoy Oral Roberts. They've only missed 1 tonight.
13 of 14. I didn't want to jinx the big man at the line. I waited till afterwards to make that comment. They've only missed 1.
I try and avoid the announcer jinx. I say I don't believe in it, but it happens all the time. Brooks into traffic on his knees, trying to call the timeout, and will be granted that timeout. Timeout on the floor. Andy Kennedy's team trying to survive another close one.
I never let dry skin ruin my day.
What dry skin?
Exactly.
Gold Bond Men's Lotion. Everyday moisture hydrates dry skin. Intensive therapy keeps extra dry skin smooth. All with 7 intensive moisturizers and skin strengthening proteins. Man up.
What's it going to be? An oven-baked DiGiorno or waiting for delivery?
Did you have that beard when we ordered?
A hot, fresh-baked crust or...
Did we order extra soggy?
Don't settle for delivery. Rise to the occasion. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building, turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Late in regulation, Oral Roberts could sense it, but Ole Miss got a bucket. Oral Roberts turned it over, and we take you back to one of the 9 threes for Burnett.
An excellent OB underplay with a single staggered screen. Bradley gets there late. Burnett, he doesn't need any space to splash that home. Burnett with 37 points on the evening.
What an individual performance for Burnett. Ole Miss narrowly escaped UT Martin in their opener. Came from 9 down with 4 minutes to play to knock off UMass in their second game. And came from 5 down with about a minute to play to force overtime here.
They've been in the close ones. No panic, and that costly turnover, the 13th for Oral Roberts, led to that 3 ball by DeAndre Burnett.
Shot clock didn't reset. Brooks, Owen switched on him. Martin was late to close, and Hyman goes up higher than the rest. Both teams are in the double bonus. This one is against Young.
Well, Hyman has the ability to rebound in traffic. He comes out of the crowd with that ball now at the free throw line, trying to build on this 3-point lead.
Hit his first 2 shots from the line today. That's his first miss. Hope you've enjoyed this game as much as we have. It's been tied 18 times with 14 lead changes. Saiz That'll be number 4.
Well, we've talked all night about the new emphasis on rules, and one of those is at the free throw line, shoving the defender underneath the basket to rebound, and Saiz guilty. He commits the crime, and Owens back at the free throw line.
They've talked a lot about how they want him to play angry. It's been composure today.
It really has, and they kind of got back on their heels to start the OT with the Ciez has a big block on Owens, and then Burnett hits another 3, but Oral Roberts has recovered nicely.
Owens has hit all 8 free throws, and he's got the Golden Eagles back within 1.
And I like the resilience of Oral Roberts. Keep getting back up off the mat.
Without their point guard again. Most of the second half, Anderson's been on the bench. Here's Neal, quick release and a 4-point lead.
New Mexico transfer has been quiet. He hit one in the first half. And huge triple.
And there's that smile that his mom says is back on his face now that he's in a new setting here in Oxford. Two and a half to play in our first overtime period. Martin into traffic and into Saiz, playing with 4 fouls, but he doesn't get the roll.
When he had Young in the weak side corner, wide open. Martin tried to force action. He should have pitched it out.
Burnett into the chest of Young. More free throws coming for the Miami transfer.
Now you've seen Oral Roberts put different defenders on Burnett. Aaron Anderson started off before the knee injury. They tried Bradley. Cullen Neal, he with a great reputation as a 3-point shooter. That was a big triple with a junior transfer from New Mexico, and he's a graduate transfer, so he was eligible to play immediately. 2 years left.
That's the big thing. Graduate transfers normally don't have 2 years, but he graduated early and still has 2. Brooks went for the steal. It creates an opportunity for Oral Roberts, but they couldn't capitalize. Nezukweze keeps it alive out to Bradley. Martin travels at the top of the key.
Coach Sutton. Ooh. You work on that all the time. Now get your feet set before you start the dribble drive. Martin drags a pivot foot.
Oral Roberts without a field goal here in overtime. All of their points have been at the line.
And a little 1-3-1 trap here. Now this is a huge possession defensively for the Eagles.
Already matching their largest lead of the day here at 6 for Ole Miss. Neal gets Nezukweze in the air, doesn't get the foul, but it falls to Saiz. The tip's there for Hyman, and it's an 8-point game.
Well, Hyman's been a huge impact here in the second half of the overtime on the glass.
What a break for the Rebels with that one softly down in Saiz's hands. Here's Martin now from the right side. First bucket of overtime for the Golden Eagles.
Martin has stepped up huge, young man. First game he's played, and we saw him limping on that left knee. Recovered nicely.
Didn't score in the first half. 15 points since the intermission. 60 seconds to play here in overtime. It's Burnett around Owens. Doesn't have the angle. Young throws it off the long arms of Hyman. It's a 2-on-1. Burnett to Brooks. Burnett with the follow. It's a 41-point effort for DeAndre Burnett.
And Hyman has made play after play that doesn't show up in the box.
Brooks is limping, couldn't get back to cover Martin. It's Neal who's got the board with 35 seconds to play in overtime, and he's heading to the line. A tournament record 9 threes and a tournament record 41 points. DeAndre Burnett is opening his Ole Miss career in style.
And watch this. You thought he was going to get the assist, but always follow up that missed layup. Burnett, an easy 2. We talked about him in the opening. Impact transfer out of Miami. He has certainly been is sensational here in this game. And he's been so efficient. 41 points on 19 field goal attempts.
Perfect at the line. You know, of all the things you can say, I love the fact that he's perfect at the line, not just today. On the year, he's hit all 24. 9-point lead, 30 seconds to go in overtime. In a game that right now, Oral Roberts afterwards will think about what if. That last inbounds with 35 seconds to go in regulation with a 3-point lead. That was thrown away, and it led to the game-tying 3 from Burnett.
Well, more games are lost by making a bad play than the other team making a good play. Although Burnett's OB triple was huge, but a big miscue with the turnover by Oral Roberts.
Burnett saves the day for Ole Miss. They stave off the upset bid from Oral Roberts. And despite the performance of Nezukweze and Martin and Owens, it's not enough to offset a tournament record 41 points and 9 threes from the next great volume scorer. At least that's what it looks to be for Andy Kennedy and the Rebels. So our bracket is updated. 2 of 4 games are in the books today. St. Joe's had a great backcourt duo performance earlier today. And then it was the single-handed performance from Burnett to get Ole Miss to match up with the Hawks on Sunday. They do get a day off. Burnett's going to need that one. And coming up after this, Montana and NC State with the most talented freshman class they've ever had. And maybe the best freshman in the country, Dennis Smith Jr. Let's throw it over to Monica.
Incredible job, 41 points, great personal performance. Let's talk about this team holding them scoreless until 1 minute left in overtime.
All year we've been battling. We've been in 2 close games before this, so it shows that we have resilience and we just battled to the end, and I'm proud of my team for that.
What did Coach tell you in the halftime to get you guys to come out and keep up this aggressiveness?
Just keep going, stay aggressive like you said, and just keep battling. You know what we're capable of, and second half we came out and showed it, and even more down the stretch.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
Good job. Guys, back to you.
Another game and another nail-biter for Ole Miss. They improved to 3-0 thanks to DeAndre Burnett.
And Burnett, his previous career high was 23, 41 today. He almost doubled it.
He beat that with his threes alone. Tournament records in points and threes. And the Rebels stay unbeaten on the young season. Another good start to the year. Let's send it now to Inside College Basketball in our New York studio.
All right, welcome to Inside College Basketball. Brent Stover, Swin Cash, and John Rothstein, our college basketball insider. We're going to head back out for the next game of the Paradise Jam coming up in about 45, 50 minutes from now, Montana, NC State. In the meantime, a lot to get to as we jump into the second week of the season, but let's put a bow on this. Overtime thriller, a lot of points. That's the most anybody scored so far this year, John. DeAndre Burnett getting 41, 9 of 12 beyond the three-point arc.
Well, and lost in the shuffle a little bit at Miami. Then obviously he put the redshirt year to good use. And Ole Miss's staff has been talking all preseason long that DeAndre Burnett would be the next lethal scorer in the Rebels program. And what an opening for the season for him. Again, 9 of 12 from 3 today is going to be one of the best scorers in the SEC.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you go to another school, and sometimes it can be a transition period, but it seems like he's fitting right in. His ability to get to the basket, to stroke it from the outside, really going to be a leader on this team. And I like the fact that you have the bigs inside, and if you can stretch the floor on the outside, they can make a little bit of noise maybe in the SEC this year.
They get St. Joe's up next in the semifinals in 2 days. He hit 9 threes, Burnett did. He was 12 of 19 overall. It's been quite a first week with the matchups among the nation's best. Some surprising upsets as well, as we begin the road to the Final Four.
Jackson crosses over, gets to the lane. His fingertip roll no good. Lightfoot for the putback. Kansas down 2.
5.7 to go. His first points at the 2-point game. Now a lob to Curtis Jones. He's by himself. Newton Johnson with 4 to go. And the Hoosiers take down Kansas here in Honolulu.
Come fires it. He goes. Oh! He got it. He got it with 7 seconds left.
Allen quickly down, racing full court right. Allen all the way to the bucket. Off the last good with 1.9 left. It's over. The Wildcats have won it. down three. Burpington is away from Larrier. Throws it across foot. It's stolen. Mike Gilbert, a three. Back rim, no.
Northeastern beats the Yukon Huskies in Gamble Pavilion.
There's the inbound pass to Trumbull. And Trumbull is fouled in the backcourt by L.J. Peak. This is for the lead. 1 point lead from Maryland. 4 seconds. Mosley with a drive. Blocked away by Herter. And the Terps are going to win it. Go get the ball.
Wide open three. Look out! Catch and release three. Bang, bang, bang! Exclamation point! And foul!
Kicks it back outside. A three from the left side. Got it! A three-pointer by Frank Jackson. What a shot for the freshman. Here comes Mason from the top. Frank. Drive to the elbow. Hang, shoots. Go Rivers! Rock, chalk it up. Number 1 goes down at the Garden.
John, you cover this stuff day in, day out. We hear from you, sometimes too much, even in the middle of July. No offense.